Hello guys, welcome to the first ever Lemon tutorial. So what is this tutorial about? First of all, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Michael. I'm PHP dev, like mostly PHP dev, and also Replit rep. And in this event, we are going to learn web frameworks in PHP. First things first, why would you want to use PHP in 2022? It's actually really simple. The language is it's reliable. It's it's not perfect language. However, it's great language. It has a lot of hidden gems. I've already covered why you want to use PHP in my latest tutorial, which was on PHP. But main thing is that PHP has bad reputation of bad websites, and I'm gonna show you today how to make way better websites in PHP with web frameworks. You should have some knowledge of PHP before to watch this event, because I'm not gonna learn PHP. I'm gonna learn how to use web frameworks in PHP, and I'm gonna learn it I'm gonna teach it through my own web framework. It's called Lemon, and it's a framework I've created mostly because fun and to learn how to actually build frameworks and how to use frameworks. So, and it was designed to be simple to beginners. So that's what we are going to learn today. So 1 second, please. I'm gonna do one last thing I forgot to do. So yeah, this is message. So let's go and start with Lemon. We're going to be using Replit because it's environment that you will have the same, and it will be way easier to use Replit. So we will have to create template, or like we first have to initialize the framework. For that, there is template I've created. You can find it on my profile. I will link it here. It's called Lemon template. Yeah, I'm gonna send a link here. And what you basically do is that you take this template and create a new REPL. So learn Lemon. So we're gonna create a new REPL. So today we are going to be building a simple block with almost no front end, just to learn it. So now we've created the project, and there is a lot of folders actually. So let's go through them. So first there is composer JSON. This basically says that we are using Lemon. Oh, actually, I think this is old version. So I'm gonna use 3.6. But it so a second. The whole framework. Don't need to think of this folder at all. Then there is storage, which contains some logs of errors. And then there is public. Public basically is the only visible file to the server, which means that only this index is our only file. What you normally get in PHP is that you have single file for single route. That was the whole concept behind PHP. You had like if we for example had user, it would be user.php. Then here you would have, for example, some HTML. No, you wouldn't. It's weird. Here you would have some HTML like this. H1 user / h1, and then there you will have also some PHP here, which will, for example, load the user from the database, which is really messy. So what you essentially want to use is framework. We are going to be using Lemon as it is simpler than, for example, Laravel. So you get this index.php. This is only file that is visible. Every single request. Yeah, I know my connection. Okay. I'm sorry for that. Wait a second. I'm sorry that it's too laggy. It's weird. I hope it gets better. So as I said, every single request that is not file, because inside public we will have, for example, CSS and stuff like that. And yeah, here in index.php, this is the only visible file. Every single request that is not some CSS file or image will be redirected here. So this will allow us to have the app in single file. So let's describe it. So first of all, we require the library. This will basically require autoloader, which autoloads the whole library because the library is split into several files. Then we create the application. This basically says application init with current directory. This will basically set we are using Lemon. And then let me just remove this for a bit. So if we run it, we will see there is not found 404. This is because every request is redirected into index.php, and here is Lemon's router, which basically it works well. This application init basically says, okay, now I'm using Lemon, and it also tries to find route. So what is route? Route is basically function that is executed every time that is executed for given URL. This means that if I say I want route with request method get, yeah, this is the syntax. You say route get for / which is like homepage, and then you say then you gave it function. This function returns what will be displayed to the user. So if I run it now, I will see hello. So, but the problem is that if I go, for example, for /foo, it will throw 404 because application Lemon will try to find route depending on the URL. And this is the main concept of web frameworks. You have a router, where you put routes and functions, and then the router finds a matching function and executes it. And return value of the route will be will be displayed to the user. So in our case, if we go to /, we will get hello, and we can actually make more of these routes. So what you would normally do is that you will have, what would you normally do is that you will have like single file for each route. This file will display, which, okay, we have it split into several files, but we share the logic. In this, and also we have there the weird .php, which isn't here. Here we can use whatever name we actually want. So we split it. And this mechanism allows us for two things. We can allows us multiple things. So now it seems that we've made it even more complicated, but I will explain why it's great. So one of those things is that that the router is not only finding the router is not only finding matching URL, but also matching method. So this means that we can have we can do this thing. When the route is slash, it will find these two routes, and it will check that if the request method is get, it will run this callback, and if the request method is post, it will run this callback. So now if I go to slash, I've sent get request, so I get hello. Now if I would send post request, which I can do now, so I will have to create form, or okay, I can do it through Firefox. But if I will send post request, which recent, so I set the method to post, and what? Okay, this is weird. Okay, it says bad request, but okay. Okay, yeah, I think I have it. There is also one problem which will be covered later, but for now we can match the route depending on URL and also depending on method. So this method, so this function will be colon when we send get request, and this will be colon when we send post request. Okay. So, and another really cool thing of this is that we can make dynamic routes. What are they? This basically mean like the advantage of router is that we can make dynamic routes. So what you would regularly do, if we, for example, would want to list users, okay, we'll say users, and normally you would do something like users.php question mark name equals Michael. In this case, it doesn't work, but this is the kind of URL you will use. You will use this query. We can use it, however, it's not that elegant. So in Lemon, we can do this thing. We say we want users slash and name. This will mean that this part with inside curly braces will be dynamic. This will mean that we can put anything we want except slashes and stuff like that. And we can now pass the value inside the function. So we say we want name. And now we can return the name. And we say slash users slash Michael. And if it all goes well, yeah, I see my name here. And if I put anything in here, it will show here. So dynamic routing is about routes that have parts that can contain anything, and we then pass the value that is there into the function, and we can use it. So this is the basic idea behind routes. We split the logic into functions instead of files. Don't worry, in more complicated applications you can split it into files, but it's done differently. So don't think of PHP like you would think regularly. So you have file, and the file is the route. Don't do that. So now there is another problem. Let's say that we want to use, for example, some HTML. So what we can do is we can use regularly, we can return it, and we can do h1 hello, hello /h1, /h1, and it will work. Yeah, you can see it's hello as header, and this is what you can do. However, this will lead to the same problem as in regular PHP. So what we want to use are templates. So what is a template? Template is basically file which contains the, well, okay, different approach. In PHP, you basically PHP itself is template. You have some HTML and you render some data inside. And this, so what we can actually do is to create a new folder called templates, which will contain, for example, home.php. And here we could have h1 hello. Okay. Oh. So now we could render it by simply requiring the file from templates. So this let us split the HTML. Okay, this is really, oh, okay. As you can see, Lemon is not designed to be used like this, so we get like error. So this is what you don't want to use. In Lemon, there are way better templates, because Lemon contains its own language for creating templates. If you ever worked with, for example, a Flask in Python or with some other stuff, you might recognize it. So I create a file called home.juice, and Replit is not still able to understand this format. I'm sorry, but so we won't get syntax highlighting. But this is like PHP, but better. And we simply create a template and then do return template home. So now when I run it, I will get hello. So how does it work? I say I want to render template called home. So Lemon will try to find template inside folder templates called home, which is this, and it will render it. So it basically contains HTML, which will be then sent it to the user. But that's not all. We can also render some dynamic content. So let's say that we want to show their current Unix time, because that's easiest thing I got. So we get time by simply calling time, and then we have to somehow pass it into the template, and we do this using named arguments. So we say variable called time will have value with value time. And now inside home juice, we can do this thing. And we will see current Unix time. Really, really great. We are epic PHP programmers now. So what is this whole stuff? We say we pass variable named time with some value. In our case, it's Unix time. And then inside the template, we can use it inside these double curly brackets. We can use it like regular variable. We say we want time. And the great thing is that Lemon automatically prevents it from some malicious script. So this is completely safe. And since these are templates, we can include it inside HTML. So, and it will be rendered. So we will see the we will see the Unix time as header, and if we get the and if you will see it, it will be basically rendered. It's really similar to writing regular PHP. The difference is that we've split logic from HTML, and also this is much safer. So you say you want this template and you want to render time. So now let's try implement blog. So on the main page, we will have home. We will then load the blog post. But now we have to implement some simple login. We will basically, it already gives me a hint. So we will implement login. So we create this function which returns template login. So we will have to create template login. So this is great. So we will have road for login, and we will have road for post login. And as I said, this road will execute in case that, what is this? So this road will execute when we send post request to login. And here we will work with the request. So now let's make it how we are going to implement login. So to implement login, we first have to get the data. Okay, we should first have we have to make the login first. So we go and create form, which will be method post /form, and it will have let's say it will have name and password. Okay, regular login. So input type text name user or name, and now we will copy it and we will get password, and it will be type password, and then button login /button. It will be terrible front end, but this is not front end stream. We are not front end developers that will make what is this? Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is that in Lemon you can get errors. It's programming, you get errors. So but by default it will say 500 internal server error because it expects that we are in production. But we can use this helper config and say app dot, or what is debug to true. I hope it works. Okay, yeah, nice. So now if we do this line, we will get a proper exception, and we see undefined variable time because our home template wasn't updated. But now if we run it, it works. If we go to login, we will have this simple form. And now if we, for example, let's say that I'm admin, so I say admin, some password, I will get bad request. How is it possible? I've created route post login, and that is because Lemon automatically prevents security vulnerability called cross-site request surgery. This I won't explain how does it work. You can find it. Tom Scott made a great video about it. But for us, it's all we need to know is to put in every form this line, and this line will fix our problem. Just curly brace CSRF curly brace, and now if we go to login and say Michael, it will work, because yeah, it doesn't show anything, but that's because we haven't defined the route action properly. So now we have to somehow access the request, and for this we can get the whole request as one object, and we can pass that object inside our function, and we do it like this. We say use lemon slash request, and we say request. Oh, it's not lemon slash request. I'm sorry, it's lemon slash http slash request, because it's HTTP request. So lemon, so we say request, request. And now let's see what the request actually contains. I hope it will work. Now I see the whole request. This actually is really a helpful function. It's called DD, and it means dump die, which will dump the current object and exit the whole application. So we see that we have a path that we send the request to, request method, headers, and the body. As we can see, the body contains CSRF token. That's not important for now. And it also contains name and password. So how do we access them? Well, it's actually really simple. We do echo, or echo to just demonstrate it, but it's request, arrow, name. And now, if I resend the request, okay, I forgot to put some, oh, I've done what? PHP 24, huh? This is weird. Michael, okay, I see my name. Oh, we don't use echo, we use return. I'm sorry. Oh, so I say my name is Michael. I say some password, and okay, I had typo, but I see my name, which is the important thing. So we can access the request data from like this using the arrow, which is really, really nice. But we have to be sure that the name is there, because, for example, if I won't fill the form, I won't see anything. In this case, it doesn't throw error, but it can lead to actual problems. And also, what if I put really long name and yeah, we have to validate it. And for this, we have this simple method called request validate. Inside, I put array, which contains key, which is name of the request param. In our case, it's name, and some validation rules. In our case, we want it to be max 16 characters. You won't have name longer than 16 characters. In this example, you can make it as you want. And this will automatically try to find the name. If it's not there, it will throw error. And the error is returned. So we have E equals. So if, oh, yeah. If, okay, it will return true if it worked. So if not validation, we can return bad data. And now if I would send the request, it will say bad data because the validation didn't work. But what you essentially want to do is to return back the form, but with error. So we do this simple thing. Inside the form, we will render variable. only if the variable exists. So and to hello Vietnamites, don't speak Czech here, please, thank you. So if the error, so we will render error or nothing. Oh, so this will mean that we will, so this is the rendering syntax, and we will render error. If it's not there, we will render, okay, cool. We will write nothing, just plain string. So if we go back there, it will work as expected. But if the if the validation doesn't work, we return template login, but now we will return it with error, which will be, for example, bad data. So yeah, now if I send the request through, oh no, if I send the request, I will see bad data and still be able to fix the form. Yeah, it works. So we also have to provide validation for password. Password, I think that we can limit it to 256 because yeah, there has to be some limit, obviously. So yeah, now we have to implement the actual login. And to do that, we have two solutions. We can either hard code it for this example, or we can start using database. Okay, let's do it and let's use database. So in Replit we can use SQLite, which I really recommend for development. So yeah, normally if you would try to now load data from database, it would have to look like this. So we will go and do $PDO equals new PDO, and it will be really long. It will take like four lines, and it will be unreadable. It will be messy. No, in Lemon we have a little simplicity that fixes our problem. So first of all, we have to create a database storage. On Replit, it will be visible because repls are visible, but it's for development, so we don't care. So yeah, we create file called database.db. So this will contain our database, and now Lemon automatically is ready to work with database. So all we have to do is to go to secrets and create db driver SQLite, or if you use MySQL, you can use MySQL. It will be soon documented. The Lemon documentation is work in progress. So we create the db driver, and we create db file, which in our case is database/database.db. So if you would work in a regular project, like not on Replit, you would create file .env, but not in public. It would have to be outside of folder public, because then it would make no sense. Lemon will automatically find the driver. I hope it will work on Replit. I haven't tested. So now we simply use db, which is class for working with db. So use lemon/db. And first of all, we will have to create a database, which I actually forgot to do. So to do that, it's recommended to create some kind of file, or not inside folder public. Call it, for example, init.php, which will basically create the database for us. So Wait a second. Hello. Okay, I think we can't use it right now. Or yeah, okay, we can use it. So we will require the index, but okay, I won't use init PHP for now. So now we have to create the database table. So for this, I will probably do it inside shell just to make it simpler. I hope okay. SQLite free, something like that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I will try to load SQLite. Okay, so we are in SQLite. Yes, nice. SQLite free database, database.db. So now we are in SQLite. So we create table users. I forgot how to create tables. I'm sorry. This is kind of boring. So if you are watching it from record, you can skip this part. I'm just gonna create database because I forgot to do it off screen. How was your day, by the way? Hello. Okay, this is cool. So our user will have probably ID, which will be integer, primary key auto increment, also name, which will be var char 255, and also password, which will be var char 255. I hope it will work. Okay. Okay, let's trust it. I hope it will work. Okay, I have some lags. I'm sorry. Okay, this was a really terrible idea. Okay, yeah, I'm missing semicolon here, but colon here. Okay, so now we should be able to try to get a user from database. How are we gonna do it? Not like this example. So we will take user, which will be db query. And then here we will put our SQL query, which will be select star from users, where name equals question mark. Yes, question mark. Okay, and now we just say $request arrow name. This will try to find user from database that has given name. Don't ever use something like this, $name. No. forget about it. Use the question mark there. It's cleaner actually, and it's much safer. So always do it like this. Trust me. If you don't want your database to be voided. So if there is no user, we will return template. Okay. Yeah, invalid username or password. So now it should put that error there. Okay, unable to open database file. This is weird. Okay, I have to. Okay, I'm sorry. If you are using file inside, or if you are setting the database file, you have to. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this makes sense. So it must end with .sqlite. So I will change it, but you have to provide database because it's folder with file database. Use dot instead of slash, and don't use the suffix. And if you have the database file, it must end with .sqlite. So yeah, now it should work, I hope. Okay, it doesn't. This is weird. Database, SQLite. What's wrong? Database, SQLite, DB file. Okay, this is really weird. Okay, it does something. Okay, it didn't throw that error. This is weird. Maybe. So yeah, if it don't work, I don't know at this point how does user log, but I can look it, but I can view it through the dump die function. So I do the user, resend the request. Okay, resend the request. Can I bind? Oh, what? Never mind. Use print R. It's not 100% working. I guess this is weird. I will fix it. Huh? So yeah, okay. What? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to use fetch all because I need all of the users. I'm sorry. It's just simplification. Yeah, now it works. So we do db query, we execute the query, and then we have to fetch all the data. That's all. Data are not there in the database, so we have to throw the error back to the user. Now, we have to somehow check, we have to validate the password. It's requiring us to check it like this: user password, check this password. Don't do that. We have to save password using PHP function called password hash. To check it, we will do only this thing. We will use user like this, user 0 password. Okay, this will be password of the user from database. And now password verify. We put password verify, and I don't remember the order. I'm sorry. Okay, first is password and second is hash. So first must be request password. So this will basically check if password from request is the same as password in database, but it uses hashing, which is really important concept. So this is all you need. Just use this function, and I will then show how I store password. So if it doesn't match, we will return the same thing. So now I have to create the user. So if I do password hash, I will create some dummy password like hello. Don't use these simple passwords. It's only for educational purpose on how to store passwords, not how to create passwords. Yeah, so I put their name, and I will use, for example, password default, because why not? Why it's their bash? What? PHP A. Yeah, echo. Okay, this is really weird. Command C. So, okay, this created new password for me. Now I can. So now I have the password, and now okay, yeah, I have the password, and so now I have to go back to SQLite. I don't know how to pronounce it. Do you know how to pronounce SQLite? I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna insert into users values. Okay, I will insert only name and password, and I'm gonna insert values micro and the hash. I hope it will work. Yeah, it probably works. So I've just set the data in database. It's simple block. It will be hard coded, or it will be like there will be no registration for this example. So when I do Michael and I put there hello, it works. If I do Michael and I put some stupid things, it doesn't work. So let's go through the code again. So we validate data user sent. We require name and password. Name must be smaller than 16 characters. Password must be smaller than 256 characters. If the validation doesn't succeed, we will return user back to login with error bad data. So, which will just show it inside the template. So if the user, now we try to get the user from database using DB query, which which automatically connects to the database, disconnects, it just works. We use prepared statement, which is security concept of databases. I won't go through it now. We just say that I can make it even more clear. I say we want name. We can named argument. So name will be double dot name, and we then provided name is request name. Then we will fetch it, and we will check if the user does not exist. We will return invalid username or password. And if it won't match through password verify, I really recommend you to study these two functions, password hash, password verify. It's really important in PHP. So, and now if it went well, we will have to set the user inside session. Most people. So, what is a session? Let's go through what is session. Session is basically storage on your server that contains data like that contains keys, which are keys and values. The key is usually stored in user cookie. So user has inside his cookie some really weird key, and then on our server we match that key with value, which makes it possible to store to associate people with their data. So what we want to do is to save their name. We want to associate them with their name. So, okay, thank you. Really appreciate it. So, but it's still stored on our machine. So session will allow us to store name. So I will say, so I will, into locked in user, I will save him special cookie, which will contain some really weird string of characters. And then when I will have some when I will have some administration, I will check the cookie, take his key, take value that is stored on my server, which is actually in some weird file. It's based on PHP. I don't know where exactly it is, but I don't have to care. And I take this key, which is on the name, and I then load it from database. So I don't need. So one common mistake that I see a lot in PHP is that we save whole user inside the session, but we don't need it. The user is already set, so we save only the name. This was really abstract, so let's implement it. So we will use lemon session. Now, so we will use lemon session. What we're gonna do is to do session set, and we will just say name, and we will set name to request name. And this is basically all we need to do. We save user's name, we associate user's name with the user, and I will then explain how to get the name. So now if I run it, okay, and I log in, so I say I'm Michael, my password, and now I should have new cookie if it all goes well. Yeah, it's called PHP session, and it's as I said, it's some really weird long string. I don't know if you can, and this string basically contains user's name. The user can see it, but I can see it here. So now what if, for example, we want to show user on what if we want to show the user on the home page? So if the user is logged, we will say his name. So we say name equals session. Okay, I'm sorry, I need to look up what it returns if the name is not there, because I haven't worked with it that much. I actually, yeah, never mind. I don't remember it. Okay, this is problem. So we will do it like this. So if session has name, $name will be session get name, else name. Okay, we don't actually need it, or yeah, we need it. Name will be null. As we can see, this is boilerplate, so we can shrink it onto one line, or like not one line, but it will look much better. And what I'm gonna use right now is ternary operator, which basically shrinks it into one statement. So, and now, as I said, it's template. We have to provide the data. So name will be $name. Now, I need to, yeah. So when I go to templates, juice. So now I need to render some message. For example, hello $name. But I want to render it only if the name is there. But and I can do it really simply. In Lemon, we have if statements, in Juice particularly. So if name, which means that the name is not now, /if, we will render this. So inside of curly brackets, we can have statements. It's like PHP statements, all you can write here. It's regular PHP. It's regular PHP, but you don't need to use the parentheses. And we end it using /if, or if you prefer, you can use endif, but I prefer /if. So only if the name is set. Okay, I hope it works. Ha ha ha. What? Oh yeah, sorry. Now name overrides previous argument. What? Oh, I'm stupid. Okay, it must be named username because never mind, just name it username. It can be named a username. This is yeah, just you can't name it username. I'm sorry. So you can name it name. And I will see hello Michael. But if I remove the cookie, for example, which will mean I will log out. I won't see it. It's not there. So we can use actually if statements, or we can use for each, we can use everything. So we've created simple login. What if, so yeah, we can use this strategy to implement other stuff. This is the whole principle of, so if we would want to do like register, we will basically copy the post, but instead of checking it, we will save it. So let's actually implement it. Let's actually implement registration. So okay, as we can see, it starts to be long. Yeah, we have it in one file, but it's long because we have the logic in one file, which it depends. For our purpose, we can, like, we are learning it. This is not real world application, obviously. It's just to understand the topic. So let's quickly implement registration, which will be simple, which will be the same name, password, by data, but instead of we will use register. Now, instead of selecting, we will create the user. Okay. Oh, I will do it like this. I will first try to. Wait a second. Okay, let's do it like this. I will first run query that will check if the user is there. I don't know if it's a great idea, but we will check if the user is there. If the user is there, we will say invalid username, user already exists. And now we will, so if the user already exists, we will say user already exists. But if the user won't exist, we can create him. So db query, it provides us some hint. Okay, this might work. So now we just say we want, okay, it's written actually, password. So what's going on here? So we simply execute another query which will insert into users name and password, not ID, because ID will be inserted automatically. And we will insert name and password. As I said, we named it, so name, password. It doesn't matter in which order we put it because we named it. So name, password from the query, it works. So now we also have to set it in the session and redirect the user. Yeah, we can use this function to redirect user to home, which I actually forgot to do in login. Yeah, nice. We also have to make, okay, I will probably turn off wrapping. Yeah, this is much better. Yeah, we will also create register. Yeah, and I forgot to mention one thing. As we can see right here, we are repeating like route get register. This is awful. What we can do instead of route register return register, we can use route template register. Yeah, we can shrink it onto this simple piece of code, and we can do the same thing with login. I hope it will work. It should work. If we go to login, okay, I think computer is not ready. Yeah, okay, it works. So we can use route template instead of route get and return the template. It's just syntactic sugar. So now we have to create the register. We will probably just copy and paste the login. It will work the same. But we will change it a little bit. We are not doing front end today. We are epic PHP developers. And the great thing about the templates is that if you are not backend developer and you are building only the front end, it's much simpler to understand this language than if you would put PHP there. That's like really nice about it. And it's actually safer, and it has some cool features such as yeah, I will explain it on some other session. So if I go to register and try to register as Michael, okay, it works because I was named with no capital letter. Hello, Michael. Now I will have to log out because we haven't implemented logout, which we will do. Okay, I made terrible mistake. I stored plain password. Don't ever do that. I'm sorry for doing it. So I have to do password hash and put there password default. I'm so sorry. If you are working with password, use this password hash request password default. Okay. I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah, let's try it again. So we go to register and we say foo, we register, it works. Okay, I wanted to show registering as for existing user. I'm sorry, I'm just pirate, I guess. Register. If I would try to log in as foo, register as foo, it will say invalid username, user already exists. It works. So if I go to login and now try to log in as okay, I forgot the password I put there. So register. I will register as bar, put some dummy password there. Now I will log out. Okay, this is really terrible logout. So we have to, let's reinvent logout. Let's invent logout actually. Route, get, logout, function. And we will simply use, where it is? Yeah, okay. If session has name, session remove name. I hope this is the syntax for it, because yeah, I forgot stuff. So now if I go to logout, I'm logged out, and yeah, I forgot to redirect us to return redirect slash. So what this does, if we are logged in, which means session has name, we will remove the name and then redirect to slash. So now if I go to login and I will log in as Buzz. What? Oh, bar, sorry. It works. If I log out, we are on slash and we are not logged in, I hope. Yeah, it doesn't say our name, so we are not logged in. So this is the essential of web frameworks. You have some routing, which to sum it up, route is just function that executes on each like route is function that is associated to request method and request URL, and template is just a structure of how will look the user interface. We describe what data will it have, and yeah, it's template, like it contains some HTML and we can render it with some real data. In Lemon, it's really simplified and it's much cleaner with this syntax. So yeah, that's, okay, I forgot to do one thing. When we are doing registration, we should provide the password to be at least 8 characters long. So min 8, okay? And the name should be actually also minimal for like, I don't know, 5 characters, I guess, or 4, let's say 4 characters. So yeah, so this is essentially how does web frameworks work. The thing is that in real applications, you would split it even more. Now we just split logic from HTML, but in real applications, you would split rows from logic, and it will be like complicated, which makes sense. It's great to be complex, but in smaller apps for learning, it's just better to see it here and in a couple of files. So what's next? Next, I recommend, if you want to learn more, you can start reading Lemon documentation. It's not finished. I'm still working on it, but yeah, you can find it here. I will be fixing it, working on it, but you can find most of the stuff here. If you like Lemon, you can also give it star on GitHub, but you don't have to. It's just, it's just my project, and I'd like to use it as learning tool because I think it can help people learning web frameworks. And yeah, good night.